This design pattern shows an reference architecture to process real-time requests using serverless infrastructure API Gateway, Lambda and DynamoDB. This architecture is useful for business use cases like real-time request and response via REST APIs. AWS API Gateway will host REST APIs for real-time request and response. AWS Cognito will be used for API authentication using industry-standard OAuth method. AWS Lambda is a serverless compute functions, which will be used as backend services. Amazon DynamoDB is a serverless NoSQL database, which will be used as data store. This architecture is highly scalable and high available. API Gateway, AWS Lambda and Amazon DynamoDB are serverless components and provides high throughput with low latency response time. With API Gateway and AWS Lambda, we pay only for what we use, which makes this architecture as cost-effective solution. Client application send an HTTP API request to API Gateway. API Gateway calls Cognito for security check. API Gateway calls AWS Lambda to execute the backend function. AWS Lambda calls DynamoDB to query the data.